A warm welcome to Anuradha Vedic Astrology. Today we are going to talk with Chandrasekhar Sharma ji on another Anakaliniya Shloka. Anakaliniya, as it means, is something that is different, something that may be difficult to understand. And we always have Sir to make us understand those shloks very simply. Sir, so over to you today. Pranam.
So let's share the screen and the shloka and we will begin with it. It is giving some very important principle, as a matter of fact. Though the shloka appears to be easy to read and interpret, there is a great principle behind it. You must have seen that many a times people look at one Rajyoga in one chart and they just jump to it that he has not become a king or whatever, isn't it? But then we have to understand that the strength of the yoga differ. They can be very weak yoga, which would indicate something, of course, but not everything that you assume. Like in case of, say, the Panchamaha yoga, etc., etc., that principle is reiterated here in a very beautiful manner, and we ought to understand out of it. Otherwise, it appears to be very simple. What is said is Mine Meena Navashake Bhrugusute Lagnasthite Bhupa. What is meant is, if the ascendant is Pisces, the Navamsha ascendant is also Pisces, which means it is a Vargottama Lagna.
Yes.
And Venus, who gains exaltation in that Navamsha and that Rashi, occupies the house, which also means it is a Malavya Mahapurusha Yoga.
Yes.
With great strength. And that is why the result is, especially then such a person becomes a king. So only having a Malavya Mahapurusha Yoga and thinking that everybody will be a king, etc. So we have to understand that the strength of that planet itself also makes a huge difference. Then it goes ahead and talks about Swachche Lagna Gruha Adhipati Balayute Raja Shashanke Kshite Lagna Swamini Tunga Mandira Gate Nichari Bhagav Kendra Sthana Gate Nabhoga Vyute Jato Mahi Palak. So now what is said is, now he gives another example of how a person will become. One is that this planet, if alone and causing a yoga in a particular Rashi or placement, has to have immense strength for the full extent of the yoga to be exhibited in the life of the Jataka. So now what is said is, Soche Lagna Gruhadipati, Lord of the Lagna should be in own house of exaltation. He should be aspected by moon. In such a case, the Jataka can become a king. So there are two factors of this Balayute. Balayute means, possessed of strength. One, it also can, relate to Shashanka Sthite, which is, so what is Shashanka? Anka means body, and Shasha means the rabbit. When you look at moon, you find a figure there on the moon. Some people think that it is of a deer, when it is also sometimes called the Muganka, and sometimes it is Shashanka, which means again moon, nothing else. If he aspects such a strong ascendant Lord of the Lagna, who happens to occupy his house of exaltation, the Rashi of exaltation, always remember that aspect of moon many a times makes a yoga more prominent, more strong. If you look at Jaimini or even yogas in Parashari, you will find when moon aspects, then they say, if moon is also aspecting in such a yoga, it will certainly happen. Because moon is mind. And the Lagna is the entire personality and self-confidence of the king. So whenever the self-confidence, which also means the intellect, is able to connect with moon, moon will always aspect the seventh house. So intellect will be aspecting the moon also. We have to understand. So the Lagna Lord, the Lord of the Ascendant, will be aspecting moon in turn and be very strong. So your emotions would be overridden by your intellect. If such a person is there, it's a very strong personality, he is likely to be a king. Then he says there is one more thing in which a person can become king. Lagna Swamini Tunga Mandira Gate. That means the Lord of the Lagna being in its Rashi of exaltation. Is this only enough? He is trying to explain more. Nichari Bhagam Vina. Bhag is always means a part, which means no more. He should not only be in its Rashi of exaltation, the Lord of the Lagna should not occupy using the Navamsha Rashi indemnity, Navamsha indemnity, nor be placed in the Navamsha of enemy, its enemy. So we have to understand the whatever strength we see in the Lagna or the ascendant Rashi or the natal chart is derived from Navamsha. So he ought to be strong there also. And in addition to that, if he occupies Kendra Sthana Gati, should it occupy a square or an angle as it is called, and Nabhoga Viyute, it should not be conjunct any other planet. In that case, the Jataka, the queries shall become a king. So just because this will be more particularly observed in case of single planets giving yoga, when some other planets, conjunct it, then
yes,
the entire picture changes. So this great principle is being explained here. Otherwise, there is always a habit of, sixth lord going to earth, is a Viparit Rajyoga, nothing happens. The person is perhaps more sick or has health issues or whatever, and one is perturbed naturally. So this has to be under the yoga causing planet has to have much strength. Not only that, it should also have strength in the Navamsha. And how the strength is to be calculated? The least is when he is in Navamsha of the enemy, Navamsha Rashi of enemy, or it's Rashi of divinity. So all these things have been explained in those 4 lines, very easily, 5 lines, if I am not wrong. You
Thank
can
you
count.
so much.
I never count them. and all these are the, yogas for being a king. Of course,
and that's not just
one thing I want to
so
add. One more thing I want
yes.
to add is whenever in this conjunction of its planets, usually if moon conjuncts a planet, then the planet gains strength. So though he has said Nabhogavi Yute, other planets should not be with that planet, the yoga causing planet, who should be in, the angle, and so he gets strength, he should be in exaltation, he should not be in the Navamsha of the enemy or the debility Navamsha. But in that case, no other planet should conjunct, but there can be one small exception, which is moon being with him, because moon, any planet conjoining moon gets strength. So it is called as samadha. So this, and that is perhaps being indicated by the earlier, the aphorism, where he says Raja Shashanke Kshitij, if aspected by moon. And usually we say aspected or conjunct. That is how the shlokas read. This is also appears to be simple, but when you go into it, they are telling you about other yogas and how they should be looked at. And that's why I called it Anakalaniya Shloka, though it appears to be easy to understand. It is giving some principle, which usually we forget. At least when I was a student, today also, even now at this age, I am a student, but in those days, I used to commit mistakes more often. So I thought this would interest the listeners.
Thank you so much, sir. So we see that it's not just Venus that we started off with creating the yoga for richness, for being a king, for being in a high administrative position, but it is also the other planets that have been mentioned in the second part, which can give us a very exalted status in any administrative position, in any place in life that we choose to be. Just that the planet should not be accompanied by any other. And as Sir said, if moon is there as an accomplishment, it does provide strength to the planet to give the planet an ability to rise up and shine. We meet with you again with another such shloka. Till then, take care. Thank you so much.
Please hit the bell icon for fresh updates. Don't forget to like, share and comment on the videos, and please subscribe to our channel.